Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be potting up 3 different African violets into this glazed pot. The first one I'm going to be potting up is a miniature and it's called Bindi. The next one I'm going to be potting up is called Ness Crinkle Blue. It's got some really nice leaf foliage on it happening. Then the last one is Rob's Boon Doogle. And I think the 3 of these will look really nice together. They sort of will have a reddish flower, a mauvey blue coloured flower, and Bindi I think is a pink coloured flower, but don't quote me on that. The Bindi one is a miniature African violet. The others are just standard African violet, large standards. So I just need to put some African violet soil mix in. Now the fun part about potting up these African violets is you can make it look however you want. You can use whatever type of pot you want. You can use like a glazed pot with African violets. The trick is just to make sure that you're very, very careful with your watering. You do not want to overwater them. You have to probably think, I always think of African violets a little bit like succulents, that they don't need a huge amount of water. And if you overwater them, they will end up rotting and they do not like it. But you also don't want to underwater them as well. So you can't let the soil completely dry out because then that's really bad for their root system. But in saying that, it's better to have the soil on the drier side than the wetter side. Okay, so first I'm thinking I'm going to put Rob's Boon Doogle in, and I'm going to keep the labels so that I know which plant is which. Now these plants were wicked in these little pots, and you can see the wick that's there. So we need to just remove that. So just gently pull it out. And I'm just going to sit it in there like that. Just make sure you orientate them the way that you want them to be growing. The next one I'm going to put in is this miniature Bindi African Violet. Just take this one out. You can see the wick. So just to take the wick out, you just gently need to remove it. So all it is, it's like a little piece of wool. And when it sits up around the roots, what it does is the plant then can draw up the water that this bit of wool is sitting in. The water draws up it, the plant sucks it up, and it just makes it easier if you've got a lot of plants to water them. Some people swear by wick watering. I don't myself wick water. These plants came from a nursery on the Sunshine Coast, and they do wick water. The wick's in there, it's just fallen out, but you can see how it just sits in there. And then this one's Ness Crinkle Blue. I'm just going to sit it over this side. And the reason why I wanted to do this with these plants is I just wanted to try a few different things to display my African violets. And I think having 3 plants in the one pot, all different colors, will be really, really pretty when they flower. I didn't do that very well. I've made a little bit of a mess. But that's okay. We can clean it off in a minute. Some more soil. Always make sure when you're potting up your African violets that you use African violet specific soil. Okay, so just them in a little bit firmer. You want to put them in firmly but not too tightly, because you don't want to have their roots completely squished in there, because they need to, African violets like to have a lot of air circulating around their roots, and they'll grow best when they do that. Okay, now always use a bike pump to remove any excess dirt on the leaves. And unfortunately, I've got a lot on there. So I may not be able to get it all off just yet. What I might actually do is water it first. So I'm just using an old sauce bottle, thoroughly cleaned out, because then it just makes it easier to direct where the water's going. And I'll water it because then I'm not going to blow a lot of the dirt around. Even though the soil has been pre-moistened, it's still a little bit dry. Probably enough for the moment. Oh, still going to have a little bit of dirt come out, but that's all right. That's the fun part of gardening. It's a little bit messy. There we have it. So just fix up our labels so that I definitely remember which is which, because I have a lot of plants, and when you have a lot of plants, it can get a little bit confusing at times. So there we have it. I'll just move the camera up a little bit so you can see how it looks. So once they are all flowering, it will be an absolutely magnificent display. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope this has inspired you to create a few different designs, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.